If your portfolio is over $250,000 and you aren't hedged, you are sitting on a ticking time bomb. Markets are at all-time highs, but history shows, you know what comes next: volatility and increased risk. A 10% allocation into gold and silver can help hedge uncertainty and protect your wealth. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy to hedge your portfolio with institutional-grade gold and silver. Right now, every qualified investment will receive a free 10th-ounce gold coin and protect your portfolio today. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. President Trump continues on his laser-focused precision campaign. Last night, he signed one of the most important executive orders that a president has signed in nearly 50 years. And it's gotten almost no media attention. Front page of the New York Times there. What are they talking about here? Perched in luxury as shanty towns rolled by. Something about South Africa. What is the Wall Street Journal talking about? Health agency to cut 10,000 jobs. Well, this actually applies to that. And then also something about the Yankees, because baseball is back. President Donald Trump signed last evening something I've been pushing for publicly on the show and privately with White House staff, and it is monumental. This is your good news story of the week. And of course, the courts are going to try and stop it, but we'll win in the end. President Trump is launching an effort that we're not even sure that he would attempt, and he deserves our credit and our praise. Late last night, President Trump signed an executive order to end collective bargaining and unionization with federal unions at many federal agencies, including the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice, the Department of State, the EPA, and USAID. Overall, this would revoke the right to unionize for 75% of currently unionized federal workers. Now, let me pause. President Trump, as you can see, is being very smart. He's not touching Border Patrol. He's not touching people that are in ICE, that are in front lines, that have union agreements, understandably, in case someone gets shot, similar to kind of police officer work. No. This is if you're a paper shuffler at the EPA, if you're a paper shuffler at the Department of Agriculture. The president has the power to do this. Federal law allows the president to override unionization rights for any federal agency involved in national security work. This is badly needed. Badly. The entire concept of a public sector employee union is hugely damaging to the body politic. In the private sector, unions can work at least in theory because workers and owners are in theory opposed to each other. It's a little nonsensical, but in theory. Workers want higher wages, owners want lower wages, but they have to collaborate because if the business goes broke, everyone loses. But in a government union, this obviously does not apply. The government doesn't go bankrupt or go out of business. And on top of that, the CEO of the government is elected. So we get what we've seen in city after city and state after state, and in our federal government too. Lawmakers have gotten elected by pandering to the government workforce to make them higher pay and benefits in return for votes. And it is a self-destructing bankruptcy, an inevitable bankruptcy destination cycle. If you look at the numbers today, the average federal employee is paid more than a private sector employee and has vastly more benefits, more time off, doing less work, no accountability, all paid for by you and your grandkids via our mounting national debt. We have to end this if we want a federal government that actually works for the public instead of itself. Now, we know what happens next. This will be challenged in court by the unions themselves. We'll probably get a nationwide injunction against it. We'll probably have to go to the U.S. Supreme Court, and maybe they won't even hold it up at all. But this absolutely has to be a priority of the American right. America has been driven into the ground by a bunch of cartels. We've talked a lot about the college credential cartel. We've talked about the Sinaloa drug cartel. We know about the military-industrial complex war cartel. But we have to make a priority of cutting down and cutting back and raising the expectations of the federal employee cartel. And this goes right at the Democrat Party. The federal unionization practices are a major built-in incumbency advantage for the Democrat Party. This is a shot across the bow against the administrative state. So now you have DOJ, as we've been mentioning, finding waste, finding abuse, finding unnecessary positions, but we can't do anything about it if all the public sector unions are unionized. All the public sector workers are unionized. Do you know who was against public sector unions? FDR was even against public sector unions. He said it was a conflict of interest. He said that the incentives work against one another. This started by executive order, and this can end by executive order. And we weren't even sure if President Trump was going to go there because this is a big move, a necessary one, a courageous one, a declarative one, and one that will restore fidelity to our federal government, that will restore responsibility for the U.S. taxpayers. This is one of my favorite of all the executive orders that President Trump has signed to end the forced unionization of people that are supposed to work for us. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for watching. First and foremost, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell. It really helps us out, and we love it when you leave comments. Share these videos with your friends. Also, get involved with Turning Point USA at tpusa.com. We have our Student Action Summit coming up this summer. We have our Young Women's Leadership Summit. All of the biggest and most amazing events of the summer at tpusa.com. That is tpusa.com. Again, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Thanks for watching.